I was the first in my entire little branch of the family to go to college. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I wish I had had more prep to explain what the fuck I should be doing. It was a rough time. It was an interesting time.
I kind of lucked out. I applied to a university and I didn't get in. And
Damn.
I was kind of bummed out about that. I ended up going to the local community college. And it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Because going to the community college was like a high school 2.0. It didn't require all of my being to get through that. It kind of eased me into the college experience. So I did 2 years at the community college. And then I went to the university and I did get accepted that time. And it allowed me to kind of, I had 2 years of prep of like what college could be like before I went to college. Even though I was in college, it was like a community college. It was like I was going to school with the same people I was in high school with. It didn't feel much different. It was like high school 2.0.
All right, for our last topic of the day, my boys. Joe Biden made his promise real, kept it. You know, the student loan forgiveness is a definite thing now. What is your guys' takeaways, and do you think that it's obviously it benefits a lot of people, but do you think it could have been more? Could have been less? Like
Some would say Sleepy Joe didn't keep his promise.
Damn,
he didn't forgive enough. I was seeing somebody saying it should have been 50 G's. I saw somebody saying in a world where billionaires exist, no one should owe anybody money. And I'm just like, I wanted to retweet that so bad and talk shit. Cause I'm like, imagine I go borrow money from my mom. Yo, mommy, let me borrow $200. And she hits me with the 200 and then she asks for it back. I'm like, nah, mommy, Elon Musk exists, all right? There's billionaires out there. I ain't paying you back. Like, can you imagine the ass whooping my mother would put on me?
That shit is a beast.
I think there is some meat to that. It's not enough. I saw some statistics saying that it was this is basically helping like maybe 20% of Americans or something like that. So like it's definitely very targeted, and it seems to be targeted kind of poorly because it's just this shotgun approach that's not really covering a lot. So I think there's maybe some meat there. I also think that it's rare for the government to give us a goddamn thing. So like, maybe we just be happy with our $10,000-$20,000.
That's my thing too. Is like we're giving out money to all these other countries and cities like that. We got billions for them, millions for them, but like home problems, like in our country problems, it's like, oh, we gotta do this, we gotta price this out, or we can give you a limit. It's like, damn, the billions you spend on fucking military shit to go to war for whatever time. We can't get all this money out of nowhere now for us. It's like, you know, it's fucking whack. Like, we got money for some shit for other people, but we don't got money for us. Like, if you invest in your own,
two different arguments there. Like, our military and stuff like that, I could see that. Like, yeah, you could cut that budget back an amount and utilize that money for different things, for sure. Foreign aid and geopolitics is so complicated that I don't even feel comfortable commenting on it. Like, yeah, we're sending those people money, but how that ends up benefiting the U.S. is complicated. It may make us money by giving those people money. Like, maybe now, because of that aid, certain countries are going to be willing to join different geopolitical organizations, and how that may benefit us, and or into trade agreements, and there's ways that benefits us. Like, it's that geopolitics is so complicated. Like, I couldn't even.
Yeah, and then you talk about like I mean, the war in Ukraine, for example. We sent a lot of money there, but if that war was raging, if Russia had taken over, who knows what the economic fallout would have been from that. Fucking stock market could be crashing even more right now. Like,
yeah, I just feel like
there's a lot of unknowns that people smarter than me try to figure out, and even they don't get it right half the time.
It's like, you know, they're helping out to help themselves. Like, if you're just helping to help, is one thing, but like I said, that's a different topic, I guess.
No, it's the current topic. You're saying we have domestic problems. We have problems in our country. Why is it so hard to target those problems with money when you're giving money to other countries? Yeah. And what Mateo is saying is that if we didn't send Ukraine money and Russia let's say steamrolled Ukraine, then they would have taken certain pipelines. It would have fucked up a bunch of European countries. It would have fucked up certain trade agreements. Like the ramifications of that would have had so many layers. That's like, who knows how that would have impacted us. The money we sent might have been a drop in the bucket of what could have happened. That might have been the best money we ever spent, sending the Ukraine money. It sounds stupid to say like that, but it's like, if it could prevent something horrible from happening to us, then it is helping the domestic problems. Like you're preventing, you're putting up a shield around our domestic problem. You're saying, yo, let them problems go on elsewhere. I'm gonna stop it from getting too bad because I don't want it to hurt my people. Like,
yeah, but at the same time, like your people helped them out without even a question. Like like all this money gets thrown around. This fucking country, the money gets thrown around. These people who are handling the money are just like, bro, like we can fix a lot of fucking debt issues here. You know, we can fix fucking probably the homeless situation. There's a lot of things we can fix here, but it's just like, nah, we don't want to spend the money here. It's like,
if it don't make dollars, Tony, then it don't make sense. Okay.
Well, the problem I have with talking points like that, and not Tony specifically, but I've seen this from like some conservative talking heads. The problem with that is they're like, oh, look at all these problems we could fix. And it's like, okay, fine. Let's cut all that shit, fine. And then they're not going to want to fix any of those fucking the homeless problem. They don't want to fix public education. They don't actually want to fix any of these problems. It's just a straw man. It's a smoke screen to cover up their own like lack of interest in fixing these problems too. It's all talking points. Politics is bullshit, man.
I hate some of I already told y'all what needs to happen, but no, yeah, man. I think somebody needs to it needs to be a vote, not just for presidents, but somebody who handles the fucking money. Like a one person, we need to vote one person to handle that fucking money. Like, yo, I'm paying all these teachers, the school boards, I'm giving them a raise. Bam.
Teachers.
No, yeah,
bro,
facts.
we vote for Congress, dude.
I understand
we vote,
that.
like, there's like 400-something people we vote in to vote on the budget.
But there's
why would
multiple.
you want one person? That one person, one corrupt person will ruin that shit.
No, we're gonna find
in a group of 400-something
non-corrupts.
people. You can have 100 corrupt people, and they might not be able to do shit.
Didn't you see what Littlefinger did to Westeros?
Yeah, the master of coin. He fucked the whole shit up. One guy.
No, we'll put somebody in. Maybe me. Maybe I'll go over there and handle the business that needs to be handled.
I'm cashier.
You can't corrupt me. I'm uncorruptible. I'm like Batman. For the people, man. But anyways, yeah, no, I think it's fucked. I think it's a good thing that he kind of stuck by it. Yeah, he could have maybe gave a little bit more bread. I don't know. Well, I mean, people complain. They're going to complain with free money, regardless, whether you get it or not. It's just, that's how I look at it, too. It's like, man, he helped out. Yeah, it's not maybe what you really want, but better than what anybody else did for you. I don't know.
You're muted, though.
All I see is people whining and fucking complaining on the internet. Oh, I paid mine off. How come they have to get theirs for free? I paid mine. It's just a lot of that. And then the White House was sending out receipts. White House was like, yo, majory bitch. Yeah, you fucking got a PPP loan forgiven and just handing out all the receipts. I was like, that's what's up.
That shit was wild, but I was loving it.
Yeah, I liked it. I was all for it. I
liked all the people angry too. They're like, I thought we wanted a White House that wasn't talking shit, and everyone was like, they're not talking shit. This is just factual information they're providing. They've got screenshots of their applications that they're putting on some of these tweets. They're just providing factual information about these people that are smoke screening bullshit.
Yep,
I like that. Pull the card out real quick on them boys.
My take on the college loan thing is, I think they are giving too many people money. That's my genuine belief.
I think it could have been targeted more. I mean, shit, dude, I've got like $6,000 in student loans that I've just been slow rolling because I don't give a fuck about paying it off because it's like $30 a month I'm paying or some low amount that are going to be covered by this thing, and I'm going to apply because why the fuck not? But I didn't need this assistance. They could have chosen way better people to receive this assistance.
Absolutely, because like. I don't want to be like the I did it so everybody else should be able to do it crowd, because I don't think it works like that. But me and my wife both had college loans and we paid our loans. If we would have paid it slow, we would have got money. I would have got $20,000 because I actually got a Pell Grant. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not the person who needed that money, like, at all. I managed to pay my loans because I got a job after college and I paid my shit off. Like, And there's plenty of people. If you look at the people who have student debt, they're some of the top earners in the country. Like on average, I think like 80% of the people that have student debt are getting paid like more than like 50 grand or something like that. Or it's like them people, like they might not, like depend on how much they owe. Maybe they do need some help. If they're swimming in interest and shit like that, then yeah, maybe you can help that out. But it's like a doctor that owes $60K, but they're getting paid $140,000. You think that person needs $10,000? Like, no fucking
Hell
way.
no.
They don't need it. Like, what this is a redistribution of wealth from the country to middle class and higher. Like, I feel like it should have been targeted more towards poorer people that went to college and never got a degree, but now they got student debt, or the people that got bullshit degrees because somebody didn't mentor them properly, and now they can't pay their fucking bills with their fucking liberal arts degree. Like, shit like that. Like, you know, those types of people should have been targeted by this, is my belief. And then you could have given them more money. You gave you're going to give so many people $10,000. Instead of giving those people, maybe give everybody 20 and maybe Pell Grants 30 or something. You know what I mean? Like, you could do something different like that. So.
No, it seems like it wasn't optimally targeted, and it's only like it's a Band-Aid, right? Like I saw a couple of economists that were saying within 4 years, student loan debt is going to be back up to what it was prior to this big, $10,000, $20,000 spending spree. It doesn't actually fix the problem, which is like predatory loaners and our higher education costs just going up and up and up and becoming fucking ridiculous. It's crazy now. I think that public universities should be free.
Yeah,
I don't think you should have to pay for higher education. Fine, these Ivy League schools, these private institutes still want to exist and charge crazy amounts. Fine. See if you can still charge that much per semester when public education is free, when public universities are free.
I had that. I felt I really agree with you. I told that to several people who had gotten out of college with these big college educations. They say that devalues their certificate or whatever, their college. It devalues it when you allow other people to get it for free.
I mean, it does, but I don't think it's a good argument to not give it. Like, I have a degree, right? Because I have that degree and so many people don't, I'm a high valued candidate for a lot of jobs. If everybody had my degree, it's going to be harder for me to get a job. Like, you're absolutely devaluing me. Like, but I don't think that's a good argument for like not giving people things. Like,
and I don't think that the reality would actually look like that. I think that you are going to see higher education rates. Like, more people are going to go and finish their degrees. I don't think it's going to be the crazy rush that everyone thinks, where it's like, oh, now everyone in America has got a fucking bachelor's in something. I don't think that'll be the case.
I think trade workers will still exist. My bad. I used to be in favor of free education. And I don't remember if it was in the UK or something like that. They did like the free education thing. And it ended up like really costing the economy a lot for not a lot of gains. And it turns out that then they started charging for university again, but a very small amount. And it kind of evened out to some optimal thing where like basically people aren't going to abuse because they have to like invest themselves now. Mm-hmm. And that means that they're not going to be like wasting a bunch of like government money or something like that.
I see.
And so like I'm kind of in favor of that more. It's pretty close to free, but it requires a little bit. Like what they're doing in New York right now is like you could get a 4-year degree if you live in New York for free.
I think
if you've lived there for 1 year, you got to pass all your classes. If you fail your class,
you have to pay for the entire course. Yep.
Damn.
And that sucks because I failed a class in college. But if that's what the stakes are, you're not going to take these. You shouldn't be taking these classes lightly. Yeah. You should take this class and be like, I have to pass this shit because I got to pay $900, $800, $700 for this semester now. Like, so I think having some kind of a check and balance there between the consumer of the education and the person providing the education, I think you tend to have better outcomes. It's a more efficient spending of our government money and you get better outcomes. Like more people get educated. Like I don't know.
I'm fine with that. That makes sense to me, honestly.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Like not too expensive, but just enough to where you have to self-invest. Because I mean,
that New York shit is crazy though. Like that's too much.
Too
you
much.
Fail a class, you gotta pay. It's like fuck.
You pay
like,
just that one class though, right?
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but it's expensive.
Like, it's expensive.
Yeah, depending on where you're going, and I mean, New York, the price of living, the cost of living is just higher up there in general.
Yeah, in the UK, it's way cheaper than that. It was very low, like a couple $100 a semester, or even less than that. I think.
Damn.
Like, you know, you could finish college with like $2,000 or something like that, or something, which is still not cheap, but it's like a working class person could probably afford that. You know.
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I mean, that's a good idea, but damn, yeah, I guess. I mean, I didn't know it was like I would still do that. You know what I mean? Like if I fail a class, like you got to pay attention, and it's probably hard too for people who have a full-time job too and trying to go to night school. That can all really build up pretty quick. I mean, yeah.
I would like to see some more mentorship programs launching for first-time college attendees. Because I was the first in my entire little branch of the family to go to college. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I wish I had had more prep to explain what the fuck I should be doing. It was a rough time. It was an interesting time.
I kind of lucked out. I applied to a university and I didn't get in. And I was kind of bummed out about that. And I ended up going to the local community college. And it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Because going to the community college was like a high school 2.0. It didn't require all of my being to get through that. It kind of eased me into the college experience. So I did 2 years at the community college. And then I went to the university and I did get accepted that time. And it allowed me to I had 2 years of prep of like what college could be like before I went to college. Even though I was in college, it was like a community college. It was like I was going to school with the same people I was in high school with. It didn't feel much different. It was like high school 2.0. And you know, I had, you know, I was poor. So the government was paying me to go to college. So it required no input on my part. Like I was cashing $3,000 checks a semester. And I had Bright Futures, which is like a Florida scholarship, and they were paying 100% for my community college. So the government money that I was getting was just cash in my pocket. So it was fire. Like I went to school for free and for a period of time. Then when I went to university, I had $20,000 in student debt. So it got crazy. But you know, still, if I had that from the beginning, I would have been fucked. Like,
Dude, at least you didn't have that freshman debt from paying to live on campus, plus the meal plan and all the other bullshit they talk you into that you don't actually need. Like my college experience was the opposite, and I wish I'd done your way, honestly, and done community college first before jumping straight into the university.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got declined by multiple universities.
But you would have been in that same boat.
Mm-hmm. Here's a question. As I saw these tweets going out, somebody was saying the $125,000 limit was too low for black people. They're saying that a white person making $125,000 is different than a black person making $125,000. They were basically advocating for black people that limit needs to be higher.
I think that there are some programs where we could actually start doing mini reparation kind of things. And this could potentially be one of them. But I know that that word reparations makes people, especially lighter complected people, get very uneasy with the conversation. But I think that it's a conversation that needs to start happening more. I think that there are programs like this that could be utilized to be forms of reparations.
I honestly don't agree with that at all. You're making $125K? Black, white, brown, don't matter. That's $125K. Like that, the money value is the same. Like I don't think just because I'm black or I'm brown or I'm white, it should be different. Like no, it's the same amount of money. Like I ain't making $125K.
So I would tell you the argument that I've seen for it, because I've seen some of these tweets too. It's because black people and brown people that graduate from college, they tend to have higher levels of debt than white people that graduate from college. Because they fall for a lot of the more predatory loaning methods, and maybe they don't know these scholarships that they can apply for, so they don't have as much assistance whenever they're going to school. they're paying out of pocket compared to white people that have a lot of generational wealth that they can use to leverage whenever they're getting these higher educations.
So I guess your poor choice of selecting different loans and reading it is a course of action for people to get different breaks because of it. Like, you made a mistake and signed on a line for a loan that you didn't quite understand, so let's give you a break from it. I don't really find that justified. Like, it's not justified. Like, for me,
that's what the whole bill is hey, you took out student loans and we're going to help you now because people are.
No, yeah, but you're saying 125,000 is different from a black to a white person. And I'm saying
I don't think the argument is actually that $125,000 is your salary is different whether you're black or white. I think that it's how you got there does matter, and black and brown people tend to have higher levels of college debt when they get out of school for a similar degree.
I agree that we have more trials and tribulations. I can agree with that. Like, we go through more loops, but I don't think that it should be different. It should be lowered or raised up higher because you're black or white. Like, I don't.
So, one thing I read that kind of made me, when I first saw it, my reaction was like, what the fuck is this person on about? Like, I was like, get the fuck out of here. I have that reaction. And then I also have a reaction of, okay, even if they are different, 125,000 in my opinion is plenty. You should be able to pay off almost any student debt given
crazy
time,
amount of money.
right? Whatever, right? Aside from those two things, there is an NPR article, I could link it to you guys, and it basically saying how money for white people tends to go farther than for black people. Mm-hmm. A lot of that has to do, and it's stuff that I experienced. Once I graduated from college and I started making good money, I had family members that needed help, and now I am a family source of income that my family didn't have before. So now I can help my family out more with money. White families tend, because there are plenty of white people, but white people tend to have less of those types of problems. They have more generational wealth. They tend to own the home that they grew up in and all this stuff. Their parents tend to be well off enough that they don't need money from their kids. Yeah, and that's not the case for a lot of black people. A lot of times, a lot of black people, poor people, minorities, when they make it, now they are sharing that wealth with all the people that they grew up with. So that 125K might be like 70K, depending on how much their expenses are now.
Yeah, I mean, who here has loaned money to a family member in the past year?
Yeah, I have. But I'm saying that still doesn't. I kind of agree with that, Pucho, right? But for some reason, I don't find it enough reason to give it a break. These are choices. You don't have to give your family. You're going to be a piece of shit. But you don't have to, yeah, you make 125, but you don't have to give 10K to your fucking aunt or your uncle. You do it out of love. If you can give, like Doughboy said last weekend on the pod, I give you what I can give you. That's the same thing you should do. I'll give you what I can give you. I can't give you the 10K.
Yeah, but you can. When you're getting paid 125K, you can give a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think that's like all the points of Pucho's statement that he just made either. Is just the loaning money example specifically.
I'm just not in agreement with color being an issue when it comes to 125K.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I don't think I still disagree with there shouldn't be a white number and a black number. Yeah. There should be, ideally, or again, these things aren't usually feasible because they cost. Like, sorry, let me just say what I'm trying to say. What would be ideal is that if there was some way that we could measure, like, how far is your money going to go? Like, you might get paid 125, but your effective salary is really like 70K. And there's other person that gets 125, their effective salary is like 120K. So given those two positions, then, here's a better argument. Somebody getting paid 125 and somebody getting paid 150. This 150 don't qualify no more. But maybe their effective salary is like 100K. It might be 25K lower than the other guy because of how much they're helping their family and stuff like that. Like I could make an argument that they still deserve that money. How the government measures that is complicated, and I don't know. And it might not even be worth it. Like, they used to do drug testing for some people getting like food stamps and shit like that.
Yep.
And that ended up costing more money than giving out the food stamps. So like just the idea of trying to prevent some people from getting the money ended up costing as much money or more than just giving it out and being fuck it, who cares who gets it? Like, so there's some things that while it makes sense, as a government, like if we could snap our finger and make it so, we would. Like we don't want people just taking the money and squandering it on things. Like we want people to take the money and use it effectively to help your family. But if it ends up costing more money to do that, then we shouldn't do it because it doesn't make sense. Like you should do whatever's the most cost-effective thing that helps people out. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a more deeper dive though. That's not simple. You know what I mean? That you got to really go into people's like, okay, this and that. I don't think the government's willing to do any of that shit. That's why they just do a blanket.
Well, I mean, this is the problem with having a Congress that can't function right now, is that these are the kinds of discussions and deeper dive that should go along with something like this. It should be more targeted. There should be a lot more discussion about it. So I'm down with that criticism. The problem is, obviously Congress doesn't function currently because of the filibuster and all kinds of other elements that make it impossible to actually progress anything properly here.
Yeah. Well, if you tuned in this far into the episode, it's a long one today.
I always like when we can end it on a nice little like down note. That's how we get the people hooked and keep them coming back.
This is a long one, boys and girls, but I appreciate every one of y'all coming in, liking. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Like us, share us, make a comment if you agree with anything we're saying or disagree. We're here for all of that. We'd love to respond. And like always, people, go one up yourself. Peace.